right, so what's up, YouTube? We are back again with another video. It's the Chelsea versus Man United preview. I got a special guest today on the channel. He goes by the name of Sir Learnmore, and he's a very, very big Manchester United fan. And we're just going to talk today about the game, talk about the possibilities of the game, talk about the battle between the two coaches right now, and just speak in general about Manchester United and Chelsea Football Club moving forward. Learn more, bro. How you doing?
Hey man, I'm good. Very nervous, but I'm good.
How you feeling about this game? Because I know
I'm
like
very excited, but I'm very nervous.
a lot of people for the first time in a while don't really know what the result of this game is gonna be. Because like normally most of the time you can kind of tell that okay, Manchester United is probably gonna win this time round, or Chelsea are probably gonna win this time round. But hey, this time it's gonna be everyone is going in with a clean slate, basically, because both teams have had a pretty bad start to the season. Would you agree?
Pretty bad is an understatement, eh? Like, we've both been underperforming, eh? Especially with the additions to our squads, especially you guys. You
Yeah.
guys had pretty big additions, but not much to show for.
Yeah, okay. Let's start off with Manchester United first. You guys started off terribly. Everyone was talking about how Ole out, Pochettino in. And then you guys somehow turned it around, started off with Newcastle. And you guys just killed it. I watched the game. I thought Juan Mata was looking really good there alongside Bruno Fernandes. I don't know how you feel about that combination because watching it from just a football fan, I thought they played well. They gelled better than how Pogba and Bruno gel.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting to see. I never thought it would work out because Mata and the legs. Ah, he's a bit shaky in terms of being quick and whatnot, but he actually played really well, and it was actually good to watch.
And then Van de Beek came on as well, and I was like, whoa, this is starting to look like a real threat because hey, all of them just seem to have that football intelligence. It's like everyone knows where the ball's going to be. There's no thinking.
Yeah, and I think it's something that Ole did with the formation there. That for me that changed the game because he also did something similar against PSG where
Yeah.
he just changed the formation and all the intelligence just came through and we just dominated.
So I want to know from a Manchester United fan's perspective, how is it that whenever United win, it's the players. It's the players. They're amazing. They're world class. The players. It's freestyle football. It's Ole Gunnar, the PE teacher. But when you guys lose or when you guys play badly, it's Ole out, Ole out. He's a PE teacher. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's out of his depth. How is it that you guys go back and forth with this discussion all the time?
I think it's just reactionary from the fans because if you look close, like I'm a very objective fan. I always tell people that I'm a very objective fan, and I like to dig deep and face facts. The first few games, you could put the blame on pretty much all of them, and mainly the players because they just lacked passion, intensity, just the sheer desire to play. They lacked all of that, and you could somewhat blame Ole to a certain extent and the club because the recruitment was poor. We were all expecting signings, and then we just made some panic buys at the end because the Cavani deal just looked like a panic buy. We ended up buying some two young guys, you see, and Donny van de Beek, who's a player we didn't really need, you see. It's not a position that we urgently needed to fill in. So you could put the blame on Ole for that aspect of the team. But the rest of the stuff, like on the pitch, Oaks didn't execute the plans. I'm pretty sure Ole had a plan in place for all those games, and we failed to execute the plans. And I can blame the players because you look at the individual mistakes that are happening. Oaks aren't tracking their men. I remember against Spurs, Shaw not tracking his guy, Pogba not tracking his guy, and all of that leading to goals. So I blame the players mainly for some of the results that we got in the beginning.
Okay, I hear you. So now that you actually mentioned a very, very important name, Paul Pogba. Personally, from seeing Paul Pogba since last season, since he came back from after lockdown, actually pretty much his whole United career, like ever since he came back from Juventus, I don't think Pogba has really reached the heights that everybody predicted or everybody thought that he would. And it's crazy how every time, even if he has a bad game, you still find a whole lot of United fans saying he should start. The coach is playing him out of position, or he's not happy. There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse for Pogba playing badly, and it seems like the last two games we see for the first time where Pogba's fit and available, and Ole decides to go for tactics and a well thought out starting lineup than just playing Pogba just because he was world class at some point. Because right now, specifically, I don't consider Pogba world class unless he's playing for France. Yes,
Yeah,
but at
yeah.
United, it seems like that world class debate, it's kind of futile. It doesn't really. There's no substance to it. I don't know how you feel about it.
For me, the first two seasons where Pogba came back, he was good. I remember the first season he came back. I think his goal involvements were the highest in the club. And the second season he also played well. I think it was the Europa season where he won the Europa League. And then after that, he kind of slumped, especially last season after lockdown. He was terrible. I must say, he was terrible. Even the beginning of this season, he's been terrible, and he's only played decently when Ole's brought him on from the bench, and it's something that's made me happy. I was very happy to see Pogba on the bench for Newcastle because when Ole got the job, the permanent job, he promised us to be ruthless,
Yeah,
and the whole time he wasn't being ruthless, and I was glad that he finally grew a pair and dropped Pogba. Or, like we've been crying out for him to drop someone who's not playing well. Like, but he hasn't been doing that. You see, like De Gea, we at some points we're expecting him to be dropped because Romero's been a world class keeper. He is a world class keeper. He's Argentina #1, and we were hoping that after all these mistakes he'd get dropped, but he wasn't dropped. And we saw that Ole isn't giving us the ruthlessness he promised. You see,
yeah.
so I'm just glad. I was actually quite happy seeing Pogba on the bench for these two games and him coming on and actually kind of making an impact because I feel like that's what getting benched should do to a player. Like it should shock you into action that places aren't guaranteed and I have to work hard for this. You see, I have to prove myself, and I'm glad that happened. And it's going to be interesting to see what team Ole plays tomorrow.
So based on the last two games, would you say that personally, would you like to see Pogba starting, or would you like to see Ole still continue with the same tactics? Would you still like to see that Fred, McTominay, and then at the tip you got Bruno, or do you want to still see that one CDM and then Pogba playing alongside Bruno, or would you rather see Van der Beek or Mata come in?
Personally, I want to see Van der Beek come in. Like
Okay.
we've paid about 40 million for him, and we haven't really seen him start in the league. He hasn't started in the league yet, and he doesn't get much minutes. He gets his minutes in the cup games, and that's not much to judge a player because a lot of United fans haven't been watching him because personally I don't have access to um, um, Dutch football, so I don't know much about him, and we're keen to see more of him, but he's not getting the minutes, and we all know he's quite a good player. He is
Yeah.
quite a good player. We see him for the Netherlands. We saw him in the Champions League. He's quite a good player. So we're all crying out to see him start. And whenever he's come on, he's shown that he's actually quite good and he's worth the start. But we'll see.
Okay.
Personally, the formation or the way I want us to play, I'd actually want to see Pogba start in the game. But I want to see us play the way we played in the second half. When Pogba came on, that formation that was played, the diamond 4-4-2, especially since Martial is out. Martial is out, play two attackers in front, and then let the midfield let us play a diamond midfield. You see, just play a 4-4-2 because it really worked for us. We put PSG under pressure. They couldn't get out of their half. So I I think that is quite a good tactic from Ole, and it could work for us against you guys.
Okay, let's touch on another big issue that's been heavily discussed in the past few weeks. Your guys' defense. Clearly, it's clear that Maguire he's not going to be fit, right, to play.
He might be.
He might be.
He might be fit.
What's your opinion right now on the defense? Because you guys have an 80 million captain who's been out of form. Yes, he had a decent game against Newcastle and he scored a goal, but you could also say that there was a lot of mistakes where you guys kind of got lucky and where he kind of got away with it. And at the same time, you guys have been partnering him with Lindelof, who hasn't been having the best season. And then you guys tried the whole Bailly thing, and it didn't really work out. And then Bailly got injured during the international break. So, and then obviously against PSG, you brought in Telles at left back or left wing back, and then you decided to push who's your left back again? Luke Shaw. What would you say is the best option in defense for you guys? Because would you say the four at the back would be better for this game, or would you say that you would like to see a 5?
Personally, a 4 at the back would be good for us because I feel like Chelsea isn't a team that will threaten us as much as your Man City or your Liverpool would, or your PSG would. Playing a 5 at the back would be very conservative. It would be very conservative to play against Chelsea. So a 4 at the back would be good. It would be good for us for attacking purposes. But I'd see Ole playing a back 5 because he really needs a result for this game. He can't afford to lose it. And playing a back 5 will be playing it safe, drawing a result from it, and yeah.
Okay. Because personally, I still think your defense isn't 100%. I know you guys kept PSG down to 1 goal, but hey, for me, when I was watching that game, I don't know, it seemed like PSG weren't really playing at their best, or I don't know, maybe they were overhyped, or maybe we thought we were going to see something, I don't know, more special because of the talent they have. It's really just Mbappe and Neymar. But I actually want to talk about a player who's actually doing big things right now, not on the football field, but off the football field. Marcus Rashford. We've been seeing him doing the whole trying to get food for kids during the winter and trying to push. And big up to him for that. But a lot of United fans I know had been complaining that, okay, we see that you're doing good off the pitch. We see that you're playing a part in making the world a better place. But personally, the fans wanted him to do well on the pitch because that's his job. So with that being said, we saw him score a goal against PSG, had a really good game. And surprisingly, against Newcastle, he was playing at number 10. I mean, at number 9, sorry.
Yeah.
And he actually did a good job. So, yeah, what do you think should be the offensive options for you? Because obviously Rashford is going to be in there.
But first things first, a PSG game, I'd honestly say Rashford didn't have a good game. He had some shocking.
He missed the front goal. Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Because he had quite a few opportunities at goal, one-on-one opportunities, one would say, and he'd make the wrong decisions. You see, so I'd say it was a shocking game in that respect, but obviously he came up clutch in the end and gave us and got us the results that we needed. But for the game, it's a tough one because with Cavani coming in, I think we could play the same way we played against PSG with 2 up front. But then again, I wouldn't expect Cavani to start the game because he hasn't had much training. I'm doubting his match fitness or his match sharpness because he wasn't involved in the PSG's Champions League run, and PSG ended their league run very early. The league was cancelled, so he hasn't had much football to play, much like Donny van de Beek. So I think he probably start from the bench. So we might see the same. We might see us play the same way we played against Newcastle.
All right. Okay.
Which is Rashford as the main man up front.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Chelsea right now.
Yeah.
So you spoke about
Yeah.
Oh, you're moving angles.
Yeah.
So you spoke a little bit about being ruthless, and as you know, I've had a huge problem. Well, before anyone says anything, I'm not part of the Lampard out.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm still Lampard in. I want him to be given time, at least another season or 2 seasons before people start thinking of Lampard out, Lampard out. But yeah, we've seen how these new coaches, inexperienced coaches, are kind of struggling with the whole ruthlessness thing.
Yeah.
We saw it with you guys, Ole not benching players, and we've seen it with Lampard not benching players like Kepa, who clearly are not performing up to the standards that is required for a big football club. Players like Andreas Christensen, who I do not know why still get a start at this point for Chelsea, especially considering our defensive issues. And then we're going to talk about Mason Mount, who a lot of people think I hate. I don't hate him. It's just you aren't playing well. You're not playing in your position. It's affecting the team. Why do you think these coaches are so... Do you think it's because they were ex-players that they're so like sentimental towards these guys and they keep playing them on the pitch? Or what do you think is behind... Like, what do you think they're thinking with all these decisions? Because any person who watches soccer can tell that, certain players shouldn't be on the field, but the coaches are still playing them.
Yeah, like for me, I understand your frustration with the whole Mount situation. Like for me, it doesn't make sense why he's being used over and over again. And I made the statement on Twitter, I think it was on Sunday or on Monday, where I said that it's safe to say that Lampard has turned the Chelsea fan base against Mason Mount and soon enough himself, because I've been seeing a lot of Chelsea fans complaining about Mount continuously starting, even though he's not doing well, and he's being played out of position. And people aren't really saying that Mount is garbage or he can't play. They're just frustrated by the fact that he's being forced into the team. So I see a frustration, and with the fact that they're ex-players, I think for them, they've always wanted coaches to show their confidence in them. You see, so maybe his thought process in keeping them in the team is that maybe me showing confidence in them will help them pick up their performances and do better. So I think maybe for them it's like, maybe it's just a rough patch that they're facing, and they've got the qualities in them, and they'll pick up. You see, because I see it even at United. After lockdown, Rashford was the best of players.
Yeah, and he was playing like, I was calling him Marcus Trashford.
Yeah, he wasn't the best in the team, but he stayed playing. He played every single game, because he'd play the whole game, literally the whole game. And United fans, we'd be crying out for Rashford to be taken off, but he'd play the whole game, because I feel like the manager knows that he has something in his locker, like he has a special quality to bring, and there's a goal in him. You see, like they know that he can spark something out of nothing. So maybe that's why they keep such players in the team, you see. But in your case, you see people like Kepa, where Caballero's doing really well. Like whenever he gets a chance, he does well. Might as well play him. For us, we don't really have an option when players aren't playing well. Like Rashford, if Rashford doesn't play well, we don't really have a direct alternative.
Dan
you
James.
See. No, that's a no for me. You see, so Dan James won't offer you anything better than Rashford. You see,
Yeah.
so maybe that's why managers keep the players on and keep playing them.
Yeah, you know what I was actually thinking? Because I remember having this discussion with someone. When you think of coaches like Jose Mourinho, um, coaches like Carlo Ancelotti, as much as you could say, a lot of people say Jose Mourinho is a dinosaur in football, his tactics are outdated, but
Yeah,
he's still Jose Mourinho. And one thing I don't know if it's a mixture of the fact that these guys were players or they're young coaches and the fact that they're inexperienced. But if you look at those type of coaches, you'll actually realize that those guys will play their best 11 whenever the chance is given. Like, and I think also it has to do with being used to pressure as well. Because you see coaches like them, they've always been coaching big teams. So if the
yeah,
results aren't coming and you're still playing certain players that are playing like trash, you're going to get fired. And I
yeah.
don't think these guys realize that. But coaches like Mourinho, coaches like Ancelotti, you see Ancelotti, he hasn't changed the starting lineup this whole
Yeah,
season.
he has.
It's been the same.
It's only
And
because of injuries.
exactly. And some people are
Yeah,
going to say, oh, yeah, there was no preseason, so the coaches are trying out different formations. Nah, before the season even starts, coaches need to know what they want to do with the players they have, right? And that's a big thing I have with Lampard is that, okay, you guys signed all these players, and you're telling me now we're going into game week 6, and you're telling me you still don't know which player's best position is. When you're the person who signed, I can forgive Ole for not knowing, okay, where should I play this guy? Where should I play this guy? For example, Van de Beek. Because
yeah,
obviously, I can understand Van de Beek wasn't really his plan. It just so happened that the team signed him. But looking at Lampard, where you've got Ziyech, you've got Pulisic, who's already been there. You've got Werner, you've got Havertz. But the first game of the season, you're playing him on the left, I think, or on the right, and then the
he
next
played
game
on
you're
the
playing in the
right. Yeah,
middle, and then the next game you're telling me you never thought this guy's position is this, and he's
yeah,
he's a number 10, and this is where I'm gonna play him. Like for me, it doesn't make sense, bro. Like it's like do you not? It's someone that doesn't understand football. With someone with a football brain like that, how do you not know where to play your players game week 6 and you're the
yeah,
one who signed them? It
yeah.
just doesn't make sense. So I'm still on the fence about the whole Frank Lampard thing, especially because whenever I think, take this team right now with all the players we have, even the defenders we have, and give it to a coach like Pep, give it
He'll
to a
do something
coach,
special.
give it to a coach like Ancelotti, give it to a coach Pellegrini, all these top coaches, there wouldn't be no time for, oh yeah, we're trying to bridge the gap. We're trying to bridge the gap. Bridge the gap for what? We're trying to win, bruh. We're trying to
Yeah,
win. Like I don't understand this whole. Yeah, I understand inexperience, but this whole we're trying to bridge the gap mentality. We're just waiting for Liverpool. I feel like these teams in the Premier League now give Liverpool and Manchester City too much credit, way more credit than they deserve. Because
yeah,
when you see teams like Man City, I know Liverpool won the UEFA Champions League 2 seasons ago, but look at teams like Lyon who aren't even winning Farmers Leagues, but they'll still come up against the Manchester City and beat them.
yeah,
You see these teams in Europe that aren't afraid of these teams and don't give them as much credit. Um, Come up against these teams and actually take them on and not just, oh yeah, we're gonna sit back and wait and try to counter because we're playing Man City and they keep the ball. Like stuff like that. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Because personally, I feel like we're I get it. Last season, Liverpool were exceptional, but I feel like we're giving them too much credit. I don't think we should be having that mentality if you're trying to win something.
for me, it's knowing when to play. You see, sometimes when you play against these teams, you have to have a sense of cautiousness. Um, like you don't want to expose yourself too much to them because you know that they can spark something out of nothing. And when you leave yourself, when you try to go head to head with them, it could leave you vulnerable at the back. So I think managers at times, especially in the Premier League, they're trying to not concede. You see, they're trying to not concede goals or too many goals in that fact, because we know that these teams, whenever they get an opportunity, they pounce and they score. So maybe that's how coaches are viewing it. That they don't want they want to be cautious, and then whenever opportunities arise, they try to make the most of them. But in in my in my view, sometimes you should go head to head with them. You see, like have different parts of the game where you're able to be cautious, and then you go for it. Like I'll make an example with the game against PSG. The first half we played a bit of a cautious game. Played a cautious game. We sat back, and we defended our goal, and we kept the ball in some parts of the game. And then in the second half, Ole changed the formation and went for it. And we saw that it worked. And it wasn't, and PSG wasn't the team we thought they were when we started attacking them, and we kept them in their half. So maybe if coaches could have the courage to go for it, they could get the results. Like Watford last season, no one expected Watford to be the ones to end Liverpool's run.
Yeah.
Like no one expected them, and they went for it. They didn't just
I
sit
mean,
back,
also
but they went
talking
for it.
about Leeds. Leeds were, I mean, they didn't beat Man City, but they went for it against Man
Yeah,
City, and they
they
came out
went
with
for
a
it against
draw.
Liverpool.
They go for it against everyone, clearly, yeah.
Yeah, they went
Even
for it and scored 3 goals.
yeah, even you see a club like Leicester as well. They go for it against Man City and Liverpool. They never try to sit back and wait for
Yeah,
them to score. It's like, why is it that these smaller teams, considered smaller teams, are brave enough to say, we're going to try and win the game instead of not try to lose? And it's, for me, it's frustrating for a club like Chelsea and for a club like United to go into a season and be like, okay, we're going to try bridge the gap. What is
we're
bridging the
trying to
gap?
catch up.
We're trying
Yeah,
to, what are we catching? Like, when, think about it back in the day when Arsenal were invincibles, did you hear anyone talking about we're trying to bridge the gap? We're trying to, from either of our clubs.
yeah.
Nobody was saying we're trying to bridge the gap. They were trying to win. So I don't know if it's a media thing and these guys are just too media trained and they're just too scared to basically say what they want to say, or I don't know. But for me personally, as a football player, not even as a coach, I imagine thinking of players like Bruno, who we've seen what type of attitude he has. Um, Players like Werner, players like Pulisic, players like even players like Rashford. They're not gonna go into you. I've visibly seen Rashford go into a game where you can tell the coaches are negative and you can see how mad he is on the field.
Yeah,
And it's like, I get where the players are coming from. How I'm this good, I'm playing for Manchester United, one of the biggest teams in the world, and I'm coming with a negative mindset, or I'm trying to not lose, or I'm trying to bridge the gap. I don't know. Personally, I think it's time the mentality changed, because at the end of the day, it starts off with the mentality. I don't think it can change if you don't believe that it can change. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things I've been
I
talking to
think
people about.
I think for the lower clubs, they don't have much to lose than the bigger clubs. You see, the bigger clubs, there's a status thing that, oh, you don't want to lose to your rivals. First of all, even though your rivals are seemingly better, you don't want to lose to them, and you trying to gain as many points as possible, and you know that, okay, I can grab a point here, I can grab a point, I can try to grab myself a point and possibly three, and by playing it safe, or do I go for it and risk it all to get nothing? You see, so and the lower clubs don't have much to lose because they know that they're going to lose against the big team. So might as well go for it. We have nothing to lose. Everyone expects us to lose either way, so might as well just go for it and see what happens. You see,
I mean, Okay, let me make an example. Taking it back to Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
Do you think Sir Alex Ferguson would ever go into a game, a Premier League game, scared to lose?
Nope.
Exactly. So it's
It,
like, I don't know. It's a huge debate, huge
you're
discussion.
right, because Evra said this after we lost 6-1 to Tottenham. He said he took himself back to the time we lost 6-1 to City. And he said, and he was talking about how we carried on attacking, 6-1 down, we carried on attacking and going for the game. And he said that in the dressing room after the game, Sir Alex asked him, why did I keep on attacking? And he said, it's the philosophy of the club. So maybe it boils down to the coach's philosophy at the end of the day, that
Yeah.
they don't have the winning mentality that we think they should have.
Yeah, because I personally, it's not even about, yeah, I obviously know that Manchester United are my rivals and all of that. But at the same time, I want to see like our clubs like going back to where they were. We can't be
Yeah.
out here getting dominated by Man City, a club that just came up yesterday. Come on, bruh.
You
Like
can't be scraping for crumbs.
Liverpool, we're scraping for a draw. We're coming in with negative tactics against Liverpool. Liverpool,
Yeah.
bruh, letting it slip. That's who we're praying for draws against now. And for me,
Yeah.
it's like, nah, bro, I don't care. If you're telling me I have a player like Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, and you're telling me I'm gonna go into a game trying to get a draw, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. You might as well sell all those players.
Yeah, true.
Just play with academy players if that's the case. If you're gonna sign 80 million pound defenders, 50 million left backs and right backs, you can't tell me that I'm gonna try and go for a draw. What's the point? Then just
Yeah, there's no
you know what I
point.
mean. Anyway, let's get into our predicted starting lineups, and let's get into final score predictions for this weekend. Um, let's start off with United. Actually, would you rather do a combined starting lineup? I know a lot of people are interested in that as well.
I'd do a combined starting lineup.
Okay, let's start at the easy one, goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper, I'd put De Gea there.
Honestly, I'd put De Gea as well because I feel like
Because
Mendy, as good as he seems, like I haven't seen enough of him, and
yeah,
we've seen that De Gea is on form right now.
yeah.
Anyone can see
I
that
think
he's
having
yeah
Dean has pushed him to actually do better.
yeah because you can tell that hey Dean is waiting right there.
He's
He's
waiting for
waiting.
his opportunity.
Yeah, and you can tell that Dean Henderson is actually a good keeper, even from the Europa League,
The League
not the
Cup
Europa League,
games.
the League Cup games. Hey, he's been
Yeah,
playing
he's been
well.
on
So,
fire.
and you can tell he's also coming from a team where he was playing week in, week out. So he's not trying to be just a passenger, just waiting.
He's also fighting for that England #1 position because he
Yeah.
knows he can get it.
Hey, honestly, I believe he should be given a chance ahead of Pickford because Pickford has been on off form.
Shaky, yeah.
Hey, even that
Shaky.
what he did to Van Dijk, bro, that was
Yo,
cold, bro.
it just clattered the guy. Yo,
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's move to right back. I mean, it's gonna be a big discussion here. I'm not
yo,
sure. I don't know. I really don't know. This is a tough one for me because yes, you have one Basaka who's defensive work, tackling wise, it's just
it's
out of
out of
this
this world.
world. And then you have Reece James, who's not really as good as Basaka
And he's not
defensively,
a starter too.
and but then at the same time, attacking wise, he's really good. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be unbiased. Also, basing it on form, I think Basaka should start because he also scored his first ever professional goal as well. So he's
He's
probably
coming
high on
in.
confidence.
Yeah,
And against PSG, he was making
he
some
was
crazy
unstoppable.
tackles. Yo, bruh, I'm like,
Pocketed
damn.
Mbappe.
Yeah, as much as you guys always complain about his offensive like work, I think defensively he makes up for it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Okay.
So we
Let's
one
go to
Basaka. Yeah.
the right-sided center back. Um, you guys, if I'd say Thiago Silva personally. For me, because you guys have Lindelof.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
I'd put Thiago Silva.
Yeah, that's an easy one right now. Okay, left centre
Second
back.
one. Sure.
For me,
I'd put Zuma.
you'd put Zuma ahead of Maguire.
Yeah. I'd put Zuma. Yo,
I'm
Maguire.
gonna have to.
Hey. No. Maguire, bruh.
It's that bad.
Yeah, especially right now, he looks lost.
You know what I think?
He had a decent game against Newcastle, but he looks lost on the pitch, and he looks like he's got no confidence.
Yeah, you know what I think? Another thing is, I think for this game, I wouldn't play Maguire because of Chelsea's attack. Chelsea's attack just everyone's quick up front. Everyone's got pace. Everyone's got speed. And I don't think Maguire would be able to handle that.
He won't.
So, but I still think, as bad as Maguire has been, I still think Maguire is a better defender than Zuma. Yeah. So, on that basis, I would put Maguire in. But tactically, for the game, I wouldn't put him. But overall, I'd say Maguire.
Overall, Maguire.
Yeah.
I just put him in.
Left back.
Chilwell.
It's an easy one. Chilwell. Yeah. Because we haven't really seen much of Taylor's in the Premier League. We know he's good, but yeah. Chilwell's playing well as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving to midfield. Let's go. Either Fred or N'Golo Kante.
I'd put Kante.
Okay, and then I agree with you on that. Then we go. Thing is, I don't know who you guys are going to play, but okay, let's say the other centre mid. For us, it's either Jorginho
or Kovacic.
And for you guys, it's probably going to be either McTominay, Pogba, or Van der Beek, I'd guess. I don't think they're going to play Matic.
Yeah, I think Pogba.
Pogba ahead of Van der Beek?
Yeah. I don't think Van der Beek will get his first start against Chelsea.
Yeah, okay. I can agree with that. Because I also would have thought he would have probably got it against like a Newcastle.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I still think Pogba has more to offer than Jorginho personally. So I have to agree with that. Let's go to the right. You could say right wing or right attacking mid, but yeah, right side.
Right side. Who's playing for you guys?
Well, I don't know how fit. I think
it's
Ziyech.
Mount.
No, because Mount has been playing on the left. Actually, I don't even want to talk about Mount because I don't want him. He
starts on the right. Like on the team sheet, he's on the right.
Nah, he's been starting on the left the last 2 games.
Because I know that Lampard said they've been struggling to get Ziyech up to full fitness. So
he's been. That's the thing. Lampard has been playing Pulisic on the right. That's why all the fans have been going crazy, bro. But yeah, that's what. I would personally go with Ziyech for us on the right side. You guys, I don't know. You guys, you have Greenwood there. You have.
I don't think Greenwood will start.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say Ziyech would start.
Yeah. Even though he might not start too.
Yeah. Left side. Obviously, it's battle between Pulisic and Marcus Rashford. And right now, I want to say Pulisic, but Pulisic just came back from injury. And I still think, and Rashford is high in confidence with the goals he scored. I still think, personally, Pulisic is a better player than Rashford.
I think he is too.
But for the fact that he just came back from injury, we'll give it to Rashford. And Rashford is playing, he's scoring, and that's his main job right now. And then we're gonna go to the front man.
That's Werner.
Yeah, it's Timo Werner. No discussions about that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's your prediction for the game? Or do you want me to go first, or you want you to go first?
The score.
Yeah.
Score, I say, I say 3-2 to United.
Yeah, damn, so high scoring.
Because I think both of the teams have goals in them, but I feel like Chelsea's defense is very shaky, and there's always room for individual errors
Okay,
that lead to goals. So I think, yeah, you guys can't really hold on
to a lead.
I'm seeing you guys struggling to hold on.
Okay, personally, I'm gonna go with the more conservative approach. I'm gonna say 1-1 draw for me, because I know these coaches, bro. These coaches are too negative, bro. They are too negative. Ole is probably thinking, "Oh, I don't want it to be some crazy high-scoring game. I don't want Werner, Pulisic, Ziyech, Havertz all running at my defenders." And Lampard is going to be like, "Oh, I'm not trying to see Bruno and Rashford and Pogba and Van der Beek, all these guys coming at my shitty defense. So we're just going to sit back and just be negative, basically." Yeah, and just like, yeah. And if one person scores, I feel like they're just going to try to protect the lead.
But then again, look at it this way. United, they can score.
Yeah.
In open play. And then again, United get penalties.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are going to get a goal, definitely. And I feel like we're going to get a goal as well, just because both of our defenses right now are not convincing.
I also see a penalty.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Especially if Zuma plays.
Zuma, I won't be surprised if he gives away a penalty.
Yeah, Zuma is the most likely to give away a penalty.
Yeah. But honestly, I would rather a 1-1 draw, just square it equal. I'm not confident in Chelsea's play right now. Defensively, I think we really need to focus more on that just for the long term. I get that. I feel like our attackers, it's easy for them. The problem is our defense. And I think you guys are in a similar position where midfield, you're stacked. Attacking-wise, you guys get goals. It's just a matter of defensively, how do you guys make it work? So, but yeah, shout out, man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving your opinions. Unbiased. The one thing I like about you is that you're a very unbiased Man United fan. And Man United fans are the most biased fans, bruh, in the league. So that's one thing I enjoyed actually talking to you about football. So yeah, hopefully it's a good game, entertaining game. Obviously, I want my team to win. But yeah, may the best man win. May the best team win.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Cheers, bro.